folks. Come on, get up off your seat. Get up on your feet. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
3 and 4 wide mid-pack. Who is going to lead this first lap? Joe Gibbs Racing 1, 2, 3. That's Kenseth inside with the 11 of Hamlin. And Busch way up top.
Coach Gibbs says just how I drew it up.
You're riding with Mark Truex Jr. in a 56 car, another Toyota in fourth. A Toyota has never won a Sprint Cup Series race here at Auto Club Speedway.
And all the way down on the apron were the 2 of Keselowski and the 16 of Biffle. They have gained 8 positions at the conclusion of lap 1, and they keep coming.
You know, I talked about pace in the opening, and one of the things that NASCAR and I think the teams are starting to really look at is the gear ratios that we're pulling in these cars. They may need to make an adjustment in the future because of such higher speeds and higher RPM.
You saw the speeds right there going off into turn 3, over 200 miles per hour on teammates Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch.
They are second and third, Logano fourth, and here comes Busch to the inside and his number 18.
They fan out like a covey of quails when they go off into turn 1.
But just look at the different racing grooves that they already can run here, and we're not even to lap 5, especially through 1 and 2. You see the battle right here for 6. Kurt Busch in the 78 car got that top 5 at Bristol, and Mark Martin in the 55.
Montoya joins them, looking for the bottom, but Martin had it covered. Hendrick teammates, 3 of them under a blanket. Earnhardt, Johnson, Kane, and Gordon, all 4.
I know this is a big wide racetrack. It looks like it'd be pretty easy, but there is so much finesse in working the throttle and running the groove that your car is handling in. That's what's difficult to find early on. Where is my car work the best? On the bottom, like Jimmy Johnson, 48 and the 5 of Kane, or on the outside, like the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 24 of Jeff Gordon?
And that could change as you get into a run.
Oh, sure, the track will get a little rubber on it, and the groove will move around, and you got to be willing to search around, hunt around, find where your car works best. Hamlin's going to the top.
And look who's right with him. Joey Logano on the bottom.
It's the way it always works.
And this is the way, if I were Joey Logano, this would thrill me to death. I would want to stay right in that 11's rearview mirror as long as I could, and maybe even pass him if I got a chance.
Or aggravate him.
Definitely aggravating.
24, Jeff Gordon on the bottom with Carl Edwards, and they pick up Paul Menard, and Menard almost had contact there with the 51 of Allmendinger.
But you see Marcus Ambrose in that 9 car right in front of Paul Menard and A.J. Allmendinger. The run he got on the high side of 1 and 2, and he just rockets down the back straightaway.
That outside, there's such a big sweeping turn when you're up high, and you're backing the gas so much quicker when you're high. You get a lot of speed off the corner down the straightaway.
Ambrose got a little loose, and here comes the dinger on the bottom.
Again, that's not unusual. See some of these cars maybe a little ill to start with. Air pressure low. Everything's kind of got to come up to race pace.
Jeff, how are those 2 Fords doing from the back of the pack?
They're coming right now, Mike, and they're using every inch of this racetrack. First time by, the 2 car, he was already down below the apron trying to make a pass on the 16. They've been going back and forth. 1 lap, the 16 is on the bottom side. The next lap, he's on the top. And I'm talking about Greg Biffle and Greg Keselowski. They're putting on quite a show, making these cars work around California Speedway right now.
Oh, you can get up to about 20th, but from there on it gets a little wee bit tougher.
Menard, Ambrose, Allmendinger. And Allmendinger's car a little loose there, the 51. Have a look at them as they came off turn 4.
You see right away, A.J. Allmendinger in the 51 dives back in behind Marcus Ambrose. These cars are making a huge wake with that big spoiler on the back of them. Really easy to draft a car.
5th place. Martin Truex's Toyota has been caught by Kurt Busch. Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, intramural battle among the Hendrick Chevys.
You see how Casey does that sweep down into the corner? You run that late entry, turn down and get a good run down the hill into the turn.
But you see Tony Stewart there in the 14 car, started 6th. He's almost fallen outside the top 15. The driver on the move, though, is that 22 car of Joey Logano. Went by Denny Hamlin for 3rd, and now he's all over the back of Kyle Busch, another former teammate, for 2nd.
Matt Kenseth, your leader by 0.7 of a second. You're watching NASCAR. 11 laps complete in the Auto Club 400. And side by side, you saw the lead change as Kyle Busch passed his teammate Matt Kenseth. Denny Hamlin, the pole sitter, the 3rd Joe Gibbs Toyota, has slipped to 4th, 3.5 seconds off pace. Here are the Toyota top performers. And Hamlin retakes 3rd place from Joey Logano's Ford.
This is interesting. I like this. Hello. Remember me?
Casey Kane, Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards reprising that paint scheme that took him to victory lane in the 2nd race of the season at Phoenix.
Yeah, he said that uniform still smells like champagne. He liked that. He didn't even wash it.
They're racing for 14th. Carl is on the list of biggest movers in the first 12 laps. Now, no surprise that Keselowski and Biffle from the tail end of the field have each gained 12.5 or more spots, but Edwards +8.
You know, you saw Jeff Gordon. Look at these two right here, though. Joey Logano in at 22 and Denny Hamlin in 11. And of course, you guys talked about it in the pre-race. Go back to Bristol. Denny Hamlin's running 3rd. Joey Logano's running 2nd. Denny Hamlin pretty much dumped his former teammate in turn 2 late in the race.
Yeah, and Larry, the longer they run together like this, the less that feud becomes. Because there's a point in there when you start saying, okay, you're not going to do anything to me. I'm not going to do anything to you. Let's just be a couple of smart race car drivers here. We got a long way to go.
Now, Martinsville in 2 weeks on the half mile. Different story.
I'll be waiting for you.
Joey Logano's owner, Roger Penske, said this week, I'm okay for Joey Logano standing up for himself, but I want both of my drivers to remember the big picture.
This is the way you let a guy know that you're not happy with him. You hit the nail. This is what I used to do. You aggravate a guy. You just do everything you can to say, is he going to hit me or not? I think he scraped him right there.
I couldn't have got much closer.
And that's the doubt you want Denny Hamlin to have in his mind. Kind of like Clint Eastwood standing over, you know?
And at a racetrack where you're going over 200 miles per hour off in the corner.
And know it just takes a little touch to send you sailing.
You mean, was that 6 shots or 5?
Yeah, that's right. Have I fired 5 or have I fired 6?
They're 4.5 seconds behind Kyle Busch, the race leader, who is up 2 on Matt Kenseth, and here comes Keselowski. 18th place right here. Moves past Junior, draws a bead on Paul Menard. Keselowski's car has been fast all weekend, but Larry, after pre-qualifying practice, they found something in the electronic data stream that they didn't like.
Yeah, they had made a practice qualifying run. Practice was over, and they looked at the data and saw where it lost oil pressure, checked one of the filters in the oiling system and saw metal, had to change the engine. So no matter the rule, no matter when you change an engine, if you have to, during the course of the weekend, you go to the rear of the field.
You know, Larry, one thing we're going to hear before this day is over with is I think I scraped the wall, because they're riding the wall around here like we're at Darlington. And you're going to get into that wall every now and then. Trust me.
Kurt Busch just ahead of Clint Boyer. Boyer in 6th after starting 11th, Steve.
Mike, we're starting to hear feedback from the drivers now. Clint Boyer saying, my car is loose on entry into the corners.
Well, this is definitely the hottest day that we've had all weekend. I mean, it's been nice here, but this is the hottest. The other thing the drivers are not having to deal with today that they had the first 2 days, the wind's not blowing like it was.
Yeah, it's pretty calm out there right now, at least wind-wise.
Identical appearing but unrelated cars of Kyle Busch and Mike Bliss. Bliss going a lap down in his number 19. And Kyle running away from Matt Kenseth in his number 18. Both Toyotas Kyle now with a 2.4-second lead over this man, Matt Kenseth. And boy, what a fantastic start to the season Kenseth has had as 5th place changes hands. Clint Boyer passing Joey Logano.
I like Boyer. I like the way he looked in practice. He always fast, one of the faster cars.
And here comes Kane.
He's going somewhere.
Going for 12th against Tony Stewart after passing Montoya. Harvick passing Logano. That's for 6th place. And out in front of the ball, yesterday's winner here, Kyle Busch. 80 laps down, and there's the gap first to second. Kyle Busch to Joey Logano. Then Hamlin, Earnhardt, and Kenseth are the top 5. Danica Patrick has now made her pit stop, and that means all the Stewart-Haas cars have been to pit road under this sequence.
I like what I'm seeing out of that 22 car, Larry. He can run the bottom.
Yeah.
And he really closes the gap on the 18 car, Kyle Busch. When he dives that thing to the bottom, he really, really makes up a lot of time.
So after that pit stop, Tony Stewart now stands 6th. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Catch up with Steve Addington. He's talking to Tony, getting lap time. So explain your strategy early on in this race, pit wide.
Well, we had that caution and came and got right sides and topped off, so we were in a different window. Cross our fingers, this thing goes back green. I think we're in a window to make it to the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because they ran about 37 or 38 laps, which was right in the Sunoco fuel window that we talked about at the top of the show. If you backtrack from 200 laps, minus in 38 laps a run, you have to pit at 162, 124, and lap 86. They pitted at lap 75. I don't see the numbers working, but if they get a caution, and it's all for naught anyhow.
Well, they're going to gas mileage. They're going to improve it as they go along. Maybe.
And the pace is slowing down, so that improves fuel mileage.
So we'll see. Got to fight here for the lead, boy. That 22 down here in 3 and 4 can get around the bottom of the racetrack. Can't. Yeah, I think he might get up there this time.
Boy, but Busch has the run off the corner and clears him.
That momentum off the high side of that corner really gives the 18 car Kyle Busch a lot of straightaway speed. But Logano, I'm watching him, and he just does this dive bomb right here. He goes to the bottom, really closes. Then it's a drag race up off the corner.
But that kid is fired up this year, Darrell. We got to remember he's only 22, but he's a 4-year veteran of the Sprint Cup Series. And I think this is the Joey Logano we've been looking for, the one that finished off that race at Bristol and got a good finish out of it after his car had been in the wall, and the one that's running hard for the lead here.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Keselowski, his teammate, and Brad said one of the things they were really focusing on was getting this 22 car to run like the 2 has been. The 2 had a little advantage early on, but they've made some great improvements with that team, that 22 car.
I said it all during the offseason. This is exactly what Joey Logano needed, a breath of fresh air. He'd been at Joe Gibbs Racing for 4 years. Just look at one, we know he went in there a year too soon, but there was no choice when Tony Stewart left. You go back a couple years ago, he had to live with the whole season not knowing if Greg Zipadelli was staying or leaving, and was Carl Edwards taking his ride. And then he lived last year with Matt Kenseth coming to that ride basically half the season. So it's always been disjointed over there.
Apparently his teammates didn't like him too much either.
.42 laps to go in Southern California. Kyle Busch 3/4 of a second up on Kevin Harvick. 42 to go, including one more pit stop at the least. Kevin Harvick 7/10 back, right in Busch's shadow. 4 seconds back to Joey Logano. Then Denny Hamlin has now moved to 4th, ahead of Tony Stewart. Jimmy Johnson's one of the local Southern California heroes, 5-time winner here. But his worst finish here, Matt, is 16th ever, and Johnson right now is mired in 24th.
Looks like he's in the off-road and an off-road truck the way he's working the wheel. Mike, basically after the second run today, Jimmy's car, like flipping a switch, absolutely lost the balance that he had the first few runs, which the car was so fast. He could not run the bottom, couldn't use the apron to hook the car like he was earlier in the race. Right now, they've made so many adjustments on this race car. The last stop, I lost count how many rounds explosive wedge they put in that 48 machine.
Larry, right now, his lap times are 1 second slower than the race leader.
Yeah, he's just looking for another pit stop, but I can't help but think back to what Chad Knaus, his crew chief, told Michael Waltrip when Michael was on pit road. We stayed up all night long redoing things thinking about what to do to that race car. Thought they hit it. Obviously they didn't.
That thing is evil. Anytime you watch a driver turn the car to the right, anytime you have to fight the wheel to the right, that means this thing is about to spin out. And you right here, you'll see you got to cut it back to the right to save it. He's not looking for another pit stop. He's looking for another racetrack.
Need to make note that Juan Pablo Montoya with transmission problems went to the garage area.
Thanks, Larry. 2 weeks from today, short track slam bang, Martinsville Speedway in Virginia.
That's the one Jimmy Johnson's looking forward to right now.
Got a great record there.
And no different than Bristol, someone will be mad at someone. I can almost promise you when it's over.
Bobby Labonte, one of 3 drivers to run every Cup race ever held here at Auto Club Speedway. Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon are the others. Labonte making perhaps his final pit stop of the day, and the parade begins. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin on the pit road, Martin Truex also in, and Jamie McMurray. Krista?
As you see on your screen, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in. Remember, they had the slow stop earlier in the race. They redeemed themselves on the last stop. Will they be able to again? A 4-tire stop for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said the handling was worse on that last run. There you also see Martin Truex. He has really been struggling all day with the right rear of the race car. He said he's been burning it off all day. They've made several adjustments. This time he thought the left rear was going down. Martin Truex said his race car right now, horrible.
Danica Patrick in. Here comes Clint Boyer. Steve.
Mike, Clint Boyer's same refrain for him. He said it will not turn in the center. I can't get the front to turn at all. Tires at Sunoco Fuel for Clint Boyer. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth says the entry into the corners is the best it's been. It's just a little bit free. That's what Matt Kenseth said moments ago.
Jeff Burton makes his stop in and out. The 2 BK cars are in, and Mark Martin, the speeding police, the electronic timing system, has his too fast entering his pit.
I was just telling Barry Landis, our producer down there, I said, you know what, I think that 55 might have been a little hot coming in.
Here's Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards in, and more. Steve?
Casey Kane, another one that's been fighting a tight condition, Mike. It's going to be 4-tire change for Casey Kane again. Trying to get that thing to turn. Carl Edwards, they have, as we said, overcome their overheating problem, but again, the car is still too loose. Matt?
And meanwhile, Brad Keselowski's car, you can see where he had some of the cosmetic damage to the right side. 2 cautions ago, they worked on that right side to help clean it up. Clean the grille, no chassis adjustment for the 2.
Kyle Busch stays out. He is still the quickest car on the racetrack, but as these cars come up to speed with fresh tires, that'll change.
Well, where the cat and mouse game will come is, I think, with our top 4. Kyle Busch, Harvick, Logano, and Hamlin. Once one of them comes to pit road, Matt, the other ones can't be far behind. And Stewart looking for another win here. You can see already going to work on the right side. Look for a wedge adjustment. Still haven't seen the wedge wrench go in the back window yet. He said he gave it a valiant effort on those 2 right side tires, trying to keep that car out front. No adjustment, he's away. Meanwhile, the 22, Joey Logano, he's making his way down pit road. Joey telling his team absolutely needs some more help on exit the corner.
Ambrose in and out, Dave Blaney, David Gilliland making their stops as we work through what could be the final round of pit stops. There are only 7 cars among the lead pack that have not yet stopped.
So Todd Gordon and Joey Logano, they've laid the cards on the table first by hitting pit road of those top 4 that I talked about.
So the one's still on the racetrack.
I only need one number. Do something. Okay, bring it to us. Bring it to us.
So Kyle will be in next time. Harvick's still out there along with Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, and J.J. Yaley. Everybody else has made their stop, and here comes Hamlin.
I wonder what he meant by that, Larry. I only need one number.
Evidently, they have a code by what kind of adjustments they're trying to make. Krista.
This is a huge day for Ryan Newman, and they can salvage a great finish out of this, running in the top 5 right now. Right now, he said he's just a little bit loose off. They're going for 4 tires and a round out and right right rear wedge to make up for that loose condition. Matt?
And the 18 guys up on the wall waiting for Kyle Busch. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. His teammate, Denny Hamlin, he needs an air pressure change on that 11 machine, the pole sitter. He's had balance issues going back and forth between tight and loose, Steve.
Matt, Kevin Harvick told Gil Martin, his crew chief, I got tight on that last run, so they will make a chassis adjustment, and they do get 4 tires on Kevin Harvick's car. Let's go back to Matt.
Kyle Busch trying to pull off the weekend sweep, Saturday's winner of the Nationwide Series. You can see the wrench in the back window. The track bar adjustment already complete. Kyle's biggest issue, he said the car was snug pretty much all the way through the corner. Just needed a little bit of a grip issue. And meanwhile, we're talking about the 48's troubles today. Jimmy Johnson, not the day typically you see from the 48 team here at the Auto Club Speedway. More than likely not going to score a 6th win. Johnson's car, balance-wise, it's just all over the map. It was way too free on entry, then it was so tight on exit. They have just thrown a lot at this machine all day.
Johnson stayed out on the track hoping to lead a lap, climbed the scoreboard as high as 3rd when he finally came in. So we cycle through pit stops with 33 laps to go. Kyle Busch, once again the leader in the Auto Club 400. Caution is out for the 6th time today. There's the result. Marcus Ambrose just in front of Kevin Harvick. Take a look.
Trying to be clear.
Shredded the left rear tire, heavy damage on Ambrose's car. Here's our extreme slow motion, our Exmo view of it.
Like Harvick
that
caught
is
a little
the
bit
second flat left rear for Ambrose today. Second caution he's brought out.
Yeah, it looked like Harvick may have caught that rubber casing off that tire.
Ambrose went to the garage.
Now, we just had cycled through green flag pit stops, but here with about 29, 30 laps to go, about half of our 25 drivers on the lead lap hit pit road.
They had not been on those tires for very long, and you see some of those drivers stopping now. Took 2, some took 4 for this final run to the finish. 29 laps to go. Working the 6th caution of the day for Marcus Ambrose and the number 9. The green is the restart box. That's where Kyle Busch has got to gas it and go. He beats Kevin Harvick to the start-finish line, and here comes Logano up the middle.
Boy, Harvick is not going, I mean, he's going nowhere.
Logano went up in the middle because he got a shot and a push from his teammate Brad Keselowski in that too.
Yeah, Harvick just did not go.
And who's flying around the outside? Is that Stewart?
That's Stewart up high.
To 3rd.
With the head of steam, headed down the back. Looking for Casey
Wow,
Kane.
top to bottom, Denny Hamlin. Elevator ride.
Oh, she's getting good now, boys.
This could be it right here.
Oh, yeah, 3 wide, 3 wide.
3 wide and on the 8.
Coming to 25 laps to go. Great action off this restart. 4 wide in the back as Kyle Busch.
Bobbing and weaving, bobbing and
away.
weaving.
Now it's Boyer down to the bottom. Trying to make something happen.
Larry, it's hard to believe that 18 car out front Kyle Busch. This is the only current track that Joe Gibbs doesn't have a cup win at.
Toyota period.
Hard to believe, man. Hard to believe.
Now arriving track 2, Tony Stewart.
Oh, trouble down the back. There's a big wreck over there.
And it is Mark Martin who goes spinning down the back straightaway. Caution is out for the 7th time.
All right. Then we hit it. They moved to left rear.
A lot of rear end damage there.
Got a left rear tire down, and I'm sure there was some contact.
Saw the track bar hanging on the ground, Darrell.
Something just broke in the rear end.
Track bar.
Yep. Mark restarted 27th. David Gilliland with a lot of damage there.
Got a feeling that maybe Mark got a little help breaking that track bar.
see. Mark Martin would have been the free pass car.
You see him back there up high, coming around the back of the picture there. I think he gets
all right,
forced.
Martin's here and Gilliland's there. They're pretty far apart from each other, so it was Mark coming across the track after it broke that got into Gilliland, who was a victim.
Let's see if Mark gets any help or if that track bar just breaks. Did he get the wall? No, he got, there you go. There's your contact.
He comes right across Gilliland's nose.
Yep.
See the rear end moving back and forth there. Good sign.
Not sure which came first.
Pit road is open this time.
I think only drivers at the back of the lead lap will be on pit road here probably.
So the drivers who did not stop under the last caution, Busch the leader, Kane in second, Logano fourth, Keselowski fifth, Harvick sixth, Hamlin and Newman.
And it looks like Hamlin and Newman, as well as Jimmy Johnson, they're going to take advantage of this caution and hit pit road.
Krista?
Such a tough choice, tires or track position. Ryan Newman made the call. He said, not only do I want tires, I want you to reverse whatever adjustment you made on our last stop. It was a right rear adjustment, so they're going back on that, and the call is for 4 tires for the 39 of Ryan Newman. Matt?
Krista, our pole sitter, Denny Hamlin, was running in the 11th position, and Darian Grubb and the boys decided to make a strategy call here, going for fresh tires, seeing how much it shows on the stopwatch getting fresh tires. So they were back at 11th, Steve. They decided to pull for some new tires.
Matt, when this caution flag flew, Kevin Harvick said to Gil Martin and the crew, guys, I spun the tires. That's on me.
Mark Martin's car, you see the rear end kind of flailing back and forth there, done for the day.
It's a good thing
Toyota.
Kyle can't hear us. Gibbs has never won here. Guy leads the most, led most laps and never has won. He'd be a nervous wreck.
We're told that Denny Hamlin's pit stop, he has lost a lug nut. One lug nut did not get reinstalled on that stop. He's going to have to come back to pit road.
Yeah, I mean, it only gave up probably 3 or 4 positions because, remember, only 3 or 4 drivers actually came to pit road under that caution.
We just see week in and week out, though, this year seem like more than ever mistakes on pit road, whether it's speeding, drop lug nuts. It seems like we have a lot of mistakes on pit road this year.
Kyle Busch has led 109 laps today. The Joe Gibbs cars have led 122 today, trying to garner their first checkered flag in the Sprint Cup Series at Auto Club Speedway. Kyle won with a different team, Hendrick Motorsports, back in 2005. And that's the team that Casey Kane drives for. Kane slapped the wall, came back all the way back now to second place.
And that's a guy with a lot of momentum right there. Second place finish and a win. Looking pretty good today.
Let's take a look at Denny Hamlin's stop, Larry.
I think you're going to maybe see it here on the left rear. You see him put the left rear tire in place. He goes to tight. You saw it fall off. You saw it shoot off. And of course, Denny Hamlin pretty much, you'll see it right in there. It fell off. Denny Hamlin's signal to go is when the jack drops. And so if the jack drops, you see the tire changer reach for the lug nut, turns around, Denny Hamlin's gone, had to come back in for that missing lug nut.
Good call by the NASCAR inspector, who was right there over the tire changer's shoulder, looking on. So now, the cars that did not stop. Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Joey Logano running 1, 2, 3, and Brad Keselowski 5th, Kevin Harvick 6th.
I just don't see how you're going to beat Kyle Busch. I don't think the competition can, as long as he doesn't beat himself somehow.
And I know we've had 7 cautions, Mike, but if you look at our last 7 races here, the average green flag run to the finish is 10 laps.
Daryl, I like the 14 and the 29 with those tires. I don't know. Maybe they'll have something for old Kyle. He gets a good restart. It'll help. But watch for Tony to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
Stewart 4th and Harvick. Stewart 4th, Biffle 7th. Jeff Gordon, Edwards, and Kenseth. Those are the top 10 cars with fresh tires. When they get to the restart box, Kyle Busch going to have to try to put some distance on this field. 20 laps to go as they come to the green flag to finish off the Auto Club 400. There goes Stewart to the bottom.
Joey
And
Logano.
into Kane.
Look at the run. Joey Logano's getting on the high side, but he'll have to fall back in behind Kyle Busch.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the momentum. He was almost there, Joey Logano.
And you knew Kyle wasn't going to give him the top of the racetrack.
That was a pretty good mirror driving by Kyle Busch.
Harvick up top. Stewart to the apron, and he's got half a dozen with him. No out of bounds or road closed signs here.
All I can say is the race is on, boys. And they got somebody to chase. That 18 car's been the best car all day. Has anybody got anything for him?
Kane way up the high side, and they triple deck him.
Boy, look at that. And Biffle just made a whale of a move.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick in the 29 got loose off turn 2. He lost that spot to Keselowski in the 2. And look at Kurt Busch in the 78. Just turned it to the bottom and gained 2 spots.
On the apron, slide job. Here I am. Look out.
Oh, boy, that was close.
Wow.
Now that is for 4th on back.
Tell you, that little 78 car is going somewhere, guys. He's got a pretty good car right now at the right time.
And Kurt Busch nab his 2nd top 5 in a row after coming from the back off a penalty. Wow.
Kane in the 5 car, all kinds of troubles. It's like they're just trying to get more than there, especially on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, Kane got up high. He's up high again, but he got way too high off a 2. Had to get out of the throttle, lost his momentum, and a bunch of spots.
What a roller coaster that is into turn 3, and then right back up top exiting 4.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, 4 wide back
Whoa,
there.
look out.
Almirola shoots through.
That's it. That's it. Oh, my gosh. I couldn't even say what it was because they were banging off each other.
Well, there's a man on a mission in the middle of that. Denny Hamlin at 11, remember, had to go to the back of the field because he had to repit for a missing lug nut. He knows the laps are running out.
Oh, this is
Jimmy
a little
Johnson
storm right here.
Back in contention. Unfortunately, back in 20th.
They are all over each other.
It's a swarm, Darrell, as you say. And right now, when these tires are freshest, that's when you got to get all you can.
Guys are taking a lot of chances, but they're making it.
Kevin Harvick battling Carl Edwards, 6th place.
Well, there's a guy right there that has had a whale of a day in that 22 car, and he is stalking Kyle Busch.
Clint Boyer was 10th in his Toyota. And smoke-filled interior of his car. There's the shot from in the car as Clint moves around to climb out.
He's in there somewhere.
He's out of there somewhere.
A cloud of smoke.
He was the 10th place car. Let's ride along and look and listen and see if we can figure out what happened to Boyer.
They started bad, ends bad.
Like the
hold her down there. Hold her down there. Hold her down there.
That's what we call a death rattle when they just get that.
You're right there. Nobody's coming at you. Nobody's coming at you.
Well,
looking out the tailpipes there.
Yeah, we know this is an engine failure, and certainly Toyota, they've had their fair share of engine problems. I think they felt pretty comfortable after Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and here with about 15 to go, they lose the engine, looks like in the 15.
Darrell, you're rolling off into the corner at 180 miles an hour, and suddenly all you can see is smoke.
Yeah, well, you know you can feel it's blowing up, but there's not a darn thing you can do about it but hang on for the ride. And you see he's got the wheels locked down. He's trying to stay out of the track. Doesn't want to go back up in the racetrack. Hanging on for dear life.
A nice job by the spotter to reassure him. Nobody coming in your lane once the car immediately behind got by.
Paul Menard was all over him. Oh, here's Hamlin. He's got a little heating problem here, Larry. What'd they do? Throw a little extra tape on that thing for this last run?
Well, it is funny that he's running warm here, but Matt, how about Joey Logano?
For about the last 2 runs, Larry Mack, he's been telling his team that the water and oil temperature absolutely almost pegged. Now he's telling Todd Gordon the water temperature is 300 and the oil temperature gauge absolutely pegged. It has come down now, he says, to about 285 under caution, but they need clean air and fast.
Kyle Busch at the front, Joey Logano right alongside. Kyle riding a 31 race winless streak, the longest since he's been at Joe Gibbs Racing. Logano trying to break into victory lane. Dave Blaney was the free pass car. He's back on the lead lap, and at the back, Ryan Newman, speeding penalty. How about Kurt Busch, though? After that speeding penalty, did you ever figure he'd be right up here in row 2 for the final restart?
And he's right here. You know, his brother and Kyle and Kurt nose to tail here. These guys might just get bushwhacked. He's looking to the outside.
Logano down to block Stewart. Stewart trying to get further underneath him. Can't. What a land rush into turn 1.
I tell you, that 78 may come out on top if he can get up off of 2. Couldn't quite pull it off.
That's if they all get off turn 2.
Whoa, tight off of that corner.
Boy, Joey Logano, he did not give Kyle Busch much room. There comes Kurt Busch down to the bottom on the back.
And that's right where he's been running, Larry. Now watch him. He'll go down on that apron. He's got a lot of grip down there, and he's put a slide job on a couple of guys.
And he's got fresher tires. Here he comes up against Logano, but Kyle Busch brings them off turn 4 once again.
Man, Kurt and the 22 car of Logano are banging off each other.
Harvick edges up behind them, looking for a shot. Here comes Carl Edwards as well. Down on the bottom in yellow.
Yeah, Carl Edwards in the 99, and there's also right behind him Jeff Gordon in that 24 car.
And we haven't talked about Jeff Gordon all day. He's been running in the top 15, 18.
And how about Dale Earnhardt Jr.? He's back in the mix.
Contact.
Hold on
Edwards,
to her, boys.
Logano, and Kurt Busch.
What an amazing run these guys are making. This is a whale of a race right here, boys.
9 laps to go. And Kyle Busch watches it all unfold in his rearview mirror.
I was going to say for second, but it's a whale of a race. Man, you just find a spot. Looking, can I find a hole?
You know, we're looking back at Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin from Joey Logano. Michael Waltrip talked about fresh tires. Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin, they have fresher tires than any of these drivers.
Junior, did he get turned or did he dive? I think he had a little help, but boy, he recovered quickly after that top to bottom run at the entrance to turn 3.
How about that Carl Edwards up there fighting for the win with that old Subway uniform on that he has left over from Phoenix?
Yeah, it did look like Harvick got into the back of Dale Jr. Nice recovery. Let's have a quick look. Logano is inching up on Kyle Busch.
Logano has been, I am so impressed with the run he's made today, Larry. I really am. That splitter being off the left front, it doesn't matter because that corner of the car's on the track anyway.
But I think his problem is not Kyle Busch, it's Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards on those fresher tires right behind him.
7 to go this time.
And laps are running out. They're going to have to get there in a hurry.
7 laps to go. David Reagan in the pits overheating.
Oh, it's going to tighten up. We know that. Those fresher tires will prevail if they got enough laps to use them.
And the freshest tires are Hamlin and Edwards as Logano takes the lead. Can he hold it off the corner?
Can he get up in front of Kyle?
No.
No, he didn't make it.
Not enough room.
Oh, my gosh, that was so close. Falls back in line, loses momentum, and here comes Hamlin.
Best race ever at California Speedway. Kyle Busch trying to hold off his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Logano up high. Logano with a big steam run, and he almost turned Hamlin around. Oh, my goodness.
What a move.
And the fans go wild.
And he'll clear Kyle Busch that time.
Have you ever?
No, I've never. But I'm telling you, I don't think that battle between the 11 and 22, I think we're getting ready to see something, boys.
I doubt this is over with 5 laps to go.
We're getting ready to see something.
And these fans know it. Nobody is sitting down.
Brad Keselowski off pace, telling him to pick up his speed to get through the last 5 laps here. He was 11th.
If we get through the last 5 laps out of caution, it will surprise me, I can tell you.
3 wide behind. Oh, man, look at this. Down to the bottom, Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick has fallen back to that crowd.
Remember we talked about Joey Logano running warm. He's pushing a lot of water, but you know what? It doesn't matter now.
Don't even tell me about it. Just dry the wheels off that thing.
With 5 to go, I think he can pick up that car and carry it home.
How about this? The 2 guys that have had this rivalry the last week, and look at them. Here they are, working on each other.
Carl Edwards for 3rd, takes it. Kyle Busch wind up on the high side, and boy, the 11 just can't quite close enough to get to Logano.
4 to go, 4 to go. You're doing fine, don't look back.
Busch retakes 3rd. Kurt Busch has dropped to 7th behind Greg Biffle. Dale Jr. now 5th.
What a great recovery by the 88. Man, they were in trouble a little bit ago, and here he is marching to the front.
But up front, the little engine that could, steaming along, Joey Logano in his Penske Ford.
And here comes Junior.
Remember Dale Earnhardt Jr., he has fresher tires, just like Carl Edwards in that 99, especially compared to Kyle Busch in the 18.
Joey Logano is starting to gap that 11 car, though, Larry. He's starting to pull away.
He is pulling away, Darrell, but will that engine last
if he
3 more laps?
If he doesn't run out of water, he'll be okay. 3 to go. That's a water heater right there, boys.
Yeah, he beat Denny Hamlin that time by 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, but Hamlin's on the bottom and digging.
And Hamlin's tires are 22 laps fresher than Logano's.
Don't you know Joey Logano he so wants to beat Denny Hamlin in this race.
And don't you know Hamlin is fired up now after those 2 made contact. And Logano got to the front.
I think they'll show each other a lot of respect in this situation. I think.
I hope. 2 to go.
2 to go. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought it?
2 to go.
Kyle Busch is 1 second back. Earnhardt 2.5. Carl Edwards is 2 back.
Hamlin is there, boys. He's there. He's stalking him. I believe Hamlin's a skosh better.
It seems like he has a bit of an advantage down in turn 1 and 2.
Teammates last year, rivals this year. Friends, maybe never. But Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin are going to settle this right now.
Whoa, Hamlin cut him some slack. He had a run on him. Oh, Hamlin, Joey got loose. He got a little sideways off the floor.
There you go.
Hamlin gave him a shot. 1 to go.
Outside, barely. Outside.
Hamlin there. Logano to the bottom, trying to hold his ground.
That's going to be tough, though. But he's been running good on the bottom. If he can just clear Hamlin right there.
No way. He's going to lose his momentum. They're going to touch hard. Are they going to make it?
Neck and neck.
Down the back, side by side.
Kyle Busch closing in.
Watch out for the 3rd place car, Kyle Busch. He's looking.
Hamlin edges ahead. They touch. They touch, and here comes Kyle. Logano on the wall. Hamlin spins down the racetrack, and Kyle Busch wins in California.
I thought they'd be nice to each other. They weren't. Hard impact on the 11 car, head on. I don't like the looks of that.
Hard hit to the inside wall for Hamlin. A bounce off the outside wall for Logano, and it ends in a shower of sparks.
I am not surprised. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but I'm not surprised. Denny's got his window net down. I think he's fine.
And that's a good sign to the rescue workers that he is okay. Two drivers went into turn 3, both refusing to lose.
I saw nothing wrong. That was 2 guys racing for the win. The 22 gets on, they're side by side. One pushes up a little bit. They make contact.
White flag right there.
Yeah, that's when Joey got loose off turn 4, allowed Hamlin to get up beside him and make the pass. But here's where this is where it gets crazy. Joey can't quite get up in front of Denny right here. It's a drag race down the back. Hamlin's got a slight advantage, but then Joey fights back, and this is where they really go nuts down here in turn 3. Got to run, got a slight edge, but then Joey gets loose on the bottom. Watch his car, gets loose, walks up the hill. They make contact. Then they really get together, and that's when the 22 went in the wall, and the 11 hit that inside wall hard. Watch his car. Watch the back of the car. Ooh, I mean, the whole car just came up off the ground.
And I don't see any safer barrier in that area right there.
I don't either, Larry.
But, Darrell, I agree with you. That's not over-aggression. That's not payback. That's 2 drivers racing hard for the win and refusing to lose.
I'd fire both of them if they didn't do that. I am a little concerned for Denny because that was an incredibly hard hit.
So that's Denny Hamlin being attended to at the scene. Joey Logano climbs out of what's left of his race car, and here's your winner. Kyle Busch breaks his winless streak. He gets the first win at Auto Club Speedway at Toyota's home track for them, and the first win here for Joe Gibbs Racing. And boy, Tony Stewart is after Logano.
Well, I did see some punches thrown today. You can't say they're just pushing each other. Not sure what went on between Stewart and Logano.
Now, Stewart could have been reacting to the restart, where Logano came way down the track to block Tony, who had a run on the inside. Let's take a look at that.
Let's see what happens here. This is what Tony is upset about, I guess.
No question.
Joey blocked him, cut him off right there, and I'm sure that's what Tony. You know, quite honestly, it's a restart for heaven's sake. And I mean, nobody did anything wrong. You know, Joey did nothing wrong.
And that's Stewart going for the win, and it's Logano trying to go as low as he can go.
Come on, boys, we're racing.
And Denny Hamlin has been helped into the ambulance.
Kyle Busch makes history in California, the first Sprint Cup win for the coach. Joe Gibbs, could you win it in any more dramatic Kyle Busch fashion?
No, they forgot about me though. I knew they were gonna, but I figured the spotters would say that, you know, the 18's coming, y'all better stop messing around. But what a great day. This Interstate Batteries Camry was so fast all day. I mean, geez, it's so fun to come out here, perform like this, but to finally win it. I mean, it's been 3 years in the making. We finished third a couple years ago, second last year, first now this year. So Dave Rogers and all these guys, I can't say enough about Toyota, Interstate Batteries, Monster Energy. Appreciate M&M's support always, and you know, the fans, and of course Sprint. You know, we appreciate Sprint and what all they do for our sport.
Now, you mentioned they forgot about you. You saw them starting to get close and starting to trade paint. What was going through your mind?
Hopefully I can get by before they wreck. You know, when they both went to the bottom side of 3 and 4, I'm like, oh man, this is golden. I got enough up here. I can make this happen. And lo and behold, you know, I put my foot to it and drove around the outside of them before they started crashing, or maybe as they were crashing. I'm not sure, but man, just feels so good to finally win. I mean, we weren't going to win if it wasn't for those two battling. If they would have been single file and just racing, you know, it would have went down in order. But can't say enough about all of Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody at TRD. We appreciate their support, and of course, being right here in California, finally we get the home win for Toyota.
This This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.